Today we're going to take a look at the instruments in the brass family.
Specifically the ones that are found in an orchestra.
All brass instruments use a cup-shaped mouthpiece.
Do you see how they look like cups?
All brass instruments have tubing of various lengths.
The tubing is bent into different shapes in order to make the instrument easier to carry.
First, we're going to take a look at the trumpet. Ms. Urquiola is going to tell us more.
The trumpet is one of the smallest and highest pitched instruments in the brass family. If you were to stretch out the tubes of this trumpet straight, it would be 4 feet and 10 inches long, or 1 Danny DeVito. The trumpet is so loud that you only see 2 to 4 of these trumpets in an orchestra. On almost every single brass instrument, you have something called valves. Here on this trumpet, I have 3 of them. This is what is used to change the notes. But there are only 3 valves and there are only 3 notes in music. So another way to change the notes is with the airspeed of your mouth. I am going to press no valves and show you how I could change the notes. Now I'm going to use 1 valve. Now I'm going to use 2.
Next up we have the horn. A lot of people call this instrument the French horn, but in 1971, the International Horn Society said that they prefer people just call this instrument the horn, for historical reasons. Both names are still generally accepted, however.
Hello students, my name is Miss Nicole and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the French horn. As you see, the French horn has one of the smallest mouthpieces of the brass family. If I show it to you right here, it looks a little bit like a cone. If I unravel it, it could be up to 18 feet long. Now that is longer than a tuba, but although it is longer, it's still much higher pitched than a tuba, because if you look at the tubing again, it's much more narrow. Actually starts off more narrow at the start here on the lead pipe where you put your mouthpiece, and then it gets wider and wider and wider as you go throughout the whole French horn tubing until it finally flares out at the end here at the bell. Now what you're going to do with the bell of the French horn is you're going to put your right hand inside of the bell like this. This makes it more stable, right? So it's less likely to move all over your face. So let me show you an example of what the horn sounds like with the hand in the bell. And here's what it sounds like without the hand in the bell. So, let me show you some more tricks you can do with your hand. So we already know you have to put your hand in the bell, right? There's a method called stopped horn, where you stick your hand all the way inside the bell just like this, and you cover the entire hole. Let me show you what that sounds like. It's a little bit buzzier, right? Let me show you regular hand. Pretty big difference, huh? Now, the French horn is really versatile in that it can play in a whole bunch of different groups. It can play in brass quintets, and it can even play in woodwind quintets. It can also play a lot of different music. You've heard French horns playing in Star Wars, classical music scores, Mozart. I will now play a little bit of the Tetris theme song.
Up next is a euphonium. Take it away, Josh.
Hello everyone, my name is Josh, and we're going to talk about the euphonium. The tubing in the euphonium is the same length as the trombone. So if we were to unbend all the metal in the euphonium and lay it on the floor, it would measure out to 9 feet. Both of them also use the same mouthpiece as well. Although it has these things in common with the trombone, the euphonium is shaped differently. It looks like a small tuba. It also has valves, which are these right here. When you press on the valves, it changes the sound. What's unique about the euphonium is its sound and its timbre. Places where you can find the euphonium are groups like bands and wind ensembles, one of the most famous bands being the President's Own.
Trombone's pretty unique in that it's the only brass instrument that uses a slide instead of valves. Let's hear what a fellow super music bro has to say about that instrument.
Hey guys, what's up? So this is my trombone. It's actually not made out of brass, if you can tell by the red plastic, but it's still considered a brass instrument since I'm using a brass mouthpiece. While you probably wouldn't see these in an orchestra, it is a cool and cost-effective way to get your hands on a brass instrument, especially if you're a beginner or a student. One hand is going to be holding the trombone in place, while the other pushes and pulls the slide to create different notes. Now there's a cool little trick that you can do on the trombone where you can seamlessly glide from one note to another. This is called a glissando. You can also articulate notes normally on a trombone, just like you would on any other instrument. For example.
And bringing it all together, we have Raul with the tuba.
Hey guys, the tuba is the biggest instrument in the brass family. One of the reasons that it's so big is so it can produce really low notes. A couple of reasons that it produces really low notes. It's one, because of the mouthpiece. As you can see, compared to other brass instruments, it has a bigger mouthpiece, so it allows you to play lower notes. And another reason too is because of the bell. The bell size itself allows you to produce even lower notes as well, which pretty much account for the foundation of the tuba, kind of like the bass notes, if you want to call it, right? So you can see what it sounds like. So you could go as low as. Cool. So yes, it requires a lot of air to play this instrument, mostly coming from your diaphragm. And another cool fact about the tuba, a really cool fact actually, is that if you're able to extend all the piping that it takes to make this tuba, it would extend across 16 feet.
Next, let's learn how to make our own brass instrument at home.
So for our DIY brass instrument, we're going to use some tubing, some funnels, and a trumpet mouthpiece.
Brass instruments instruments are super cool. I definitely want to learn how to play one next.
There are different brass instruments that are not only in an orchestra. There are some in marching bands, like the mellophone, which is like a French horn modified, and a sousaphone, which is a tuba modified.
Is a didgeridoo a brass instrument?
I don't know.